I am back from vacation, and my gosh, what have I stumbled across? But I should give you the full picture, so let's start from the beginning. We begin our story in 2018 when the Canadian Soccer Federation hired John Herdman as head coach. The Englishman led us from 72nd to 33rd in the FIFA men's rankings, which was, at the time, our highest ever ranking. His leadership would also see us surprisingly finish first in CONCACAF World Cup qualification, qualifying for our first ever World Cup in 36 years. And how did we do in that tournament?
I prefer not to speak, really. I prefer not to speak.
Now, even though Canada was eliminated early on in the World Cup, we did score our first ever goal. Not to mention, we did perform relatively well against giants like Belgium, so some positive takeaways there. But the national team seemed to run out of steam after the World Cup because we started struggling massively. This included losing the CONCACAF Nations League final to the US, and also the Gold Cup quarterfinal again to the US. By the way, both times the US had an interim coach. Greg Berhalter repeatedly lost to us in World Cup qualifying, but the minute he's gone and an interim takes over, we get beaten twice. Once in a final as well. I don't know whether to laugh at Greg Berhalter or cry about how incompetent our team is. All of this came to an end when John Herdman left the Canada national team in August of 2023 and eventually joined Toronto FC. So, with Herdman gone, what happened next for the national team? Well, it can be summarized by two words: pain and suffering. We continued to struggle massively against opposition, and all the while, our search for a head coach was taking a surprisingly long time. For months, we stuck with an intern, but then, at last, a glimmer of hope. We've been linked with a manager. Who could it be? So basically, aside from the 2026 World Cup, which by the way Canada is co-hosting, we also have the Copa America happening, which is this year in about a month. And throughout all of that, the Federation stuck with only an interim, only to be linked with Frank Lampard. Now, Canada Soccer Federation, to put it simply, to put it as politely as I possibly can, you morons, what were you thinking? I mean, Lampard, Frank Lampard of all people. This is the same guy who transformed Chelsea into a bang average team, got sacked when they were 9, almost got Everton relegated twice, went back to Chelsea and played 6 games, scored 1 goal across all of them, lost all 6. And led Chelsea to a 12th place finish. Granted, that last one wasn't entirely his fault, but still, Lampard of all people. You really couldn't find anyone better than Lampard? I know we're broke, but still! But we eventually dodged that bullet when Lampard was taken off the shortlist, and it was kind of embarrassing too, because Lampard himself rejected the job. Yeah, that's right. The Canada Federation was serious about this. Had it not been for Lampard saving us from himself, we could have seriously had Lampard ball ruining the likes of Alphonso Davies. Oh my gosh, that would be a horrifying alternate universe. So, no more Lampard. Who's next? Now, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I was slightly less negative about the possibility of Ole coming in. Because, well, he did do relatively decent at Man United. That's setting a very low bar, but still, it's Man United. No one really succeeds there. Some underwhelming showings aside, well, actually, a lot of underwhelming showings aside, Ole didn't do too bad at Man United. Again, a very low bar, but you have to remember, it's Man United. He was consistently finishing around the Champions League spots until the 21-22 season, but still, Ole as a manager Not the ideal look, is it? I mean, first Lampard and now Ole. I don't even think China's hiring process is this shambolic. And while we've been courting these bang-average managers, let's not forget, we have Copa America coming up. Who's in our group? Have you seen our group? Canada has been placed in the same group as Chile, Peru, and world champions Argentina. Now, Peru are on quite a poor run themselves. Chile are, well, their golden generation is aging. There's no doubt about that. But Argentina are going to absolutely demolish us. I have no doubts about that. My only hope is that Lautaro Martinez brings his World Cup form with him. Even then, he can't save us from Messi, or Julian Alvarez, or Alexis McAllister, or Angel Di Maria, or Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, it's gonna be a massacre. Now, because we will be undoubtedly underdogs in Copa America, you would think we need some... Now, because we're undoubtedly underdogs in Copa America, you think we'd have a competent manager in by now, right? Well, we finally do now. Jesse Marsch. Okay, Canada Federation. What are we trying to do? Succeed as a national team or be a job center for failed Premier League managers? Now, contrary to the other two, Jesse Marsch has had some success. He did lead RB Salzburg to quite a few trophies, and he did manage to avoid relegation with Leeds United once. The second season he got sacked, but then again, it's Leeds United. Same thing with United. No one really succeeds there. Who knows? We got 2 more friendlies before Copa America. The Netherlands and France, I think. So, perfect testing ground for Marsch, right? I mean, first the China national team and now this. Oh, it's gonna be a fun June.